Hello and welcome to Colleague 7 Sprint Review for 18.03.01. This will cover the work undertaken between the 6th of March to the 19th of March. Starting with the sprint goal, and for this sprint our aim has been to deliver our established solution for managing embedded images within email signatures. We've also undertaken some key updates to the requirement workflow based on client feedback. So looking at the high level items and to explain further, in this sprint, we've put in place our solution for embedding images within email signatures. This is the first phase and has been done with a view to deploying the solution throughout the system. We've ensured that when sending a CV or arranging an interview from a requirement, the email attachments option is automatically populated with the documents from the associated candidates and contact. We've updated the inline CV links option to now be a generic document link option, and this is available for all document types when sending a CV. We've introduced an exclude leavers option to the contact selection screen, as well as all contact lookup partial views. And we've introduced a new user filter option to the main user overview page, so that an authorized user has the ability to view overview stats for all active users. We'll now go through a short demonstration on the key features from this sprint. Okay, so the first thing I want to cover is the new Embed Image option that's been added to the email function and also email signature function. So this is best demonstrated if I launch an email, and it will bring through obviously the email setup and the prefixed email signature that's been set up against the user. Previously, whenever we've needed to insert images into an email or against an email signature, the images had to be hosted in a location that's on a website somewhere, and it'd be sourced into the email via that method. But we've moved past that now, and I can actually embed the image properly. So what we'll do to best demonstrate this, if I just update my email signature, so you can see the email signature as it currently stands there. What if I do? If I go to my email signature here, I'll insert, got an image here that I need to insert, there we go, and that will update that image. If I discard that, and we'll just refresh this candidate, and just lets the changes take effect. Go to email, and you can see there now that the email signature holds that image. And obviously we can insert images from here, and obviously just pull them from images that are locally hosted against your system, and they'll go into here, and they're embedded into the email using a method which is essentially as per the instructions from Microsoft utilizing their MS Graph API. So they're not sent as like attachments. They're actually embedded into the email, so they're incorporated within the actual email messaging body. So that's the update that's been made there, and again that's specifically to the email signature area here, the admin area under users where you've got an option to update email signatures in there. It's been updated in that area as well, and all emails, whenever you're sending an email, it will have that option for insert image. It's not an option to insert an image if you're doing a meeting request. That's a restriction that is currently in place, but we'll utilize other options in that area at a later time. But for now, that's where the update has been made, and obviously our intention is to now progress that insert image option to the create document area and the templates that are against the system as well. But that's the update we've made there so far. The next 2 points to cover relate to the CV send and interview workflow, which for the purposes of this demonstration I'll run it against the requirement record, although for the CV send option that's also been updated when doing a spective CV to multiple contacts as well, but that's against a search result. But for this we'll do it against a requirement record. And what I'm referring to is from, so within the requirement record we'll go to the candidates tab, we'll select 2 candidates here, and we'll go to send those selected candidates, send their CVs to a contact. So we've made a couple of updates here which are fairly key. One being the document link, which used to be referred to as inline CV, and the other one being the attached file option that's been set there. So previously when you wanted to attach a file to a document from a candidate when you're doing this workflow, you'd have to look up that candidate record, and that would be fairly slow and cumbersome. Now, the documentation associated with the requirements, with the associated contact, and also with all candidates that you've selected as part of this process, they'll be pulled through into this drop-down list. So you can very quickly select any associated documentation that you want to attach to this email. Also, the insert document link option. This used to be referred to as inline CV link. And what that would do is it would introduce a link into the email body so that the user on the contact that you're sending the email to can click on that link to download the CV, and then you receive a notification when they've done that. This has been updated so that it incorporates all document types. Reason being is that it was previously fixed and to look for a specific type of document type, and by doing that we were finding that the feedback we were getting was that users weren't seeing many of their documents appear in that list. So this has now been updated so that it will always bring through any documents associated with the selected candidates that you're looking to send. So if I demonstrate this, obviously we've got the template selection. So let's say we're going to pull through this template here. We'll create document links for this candidate, and we'll do it for this one as well. And let's also attach, say, a file there from the candidate as an example that can be done. Obviously, you can preview that, and it will come through, and then you send. And that's what we're looking to do, is try and make it as simplistic as possible when sending out an email, rather than it be a process where you have to look up for the records or look up for the files. Instead, hopefully everything is readily available to you now there from that window. So that's the update we've made there against that workflow. The next point to cover just relates to the update to include or exclude levers when searching for contacts. So this is an extra option that's been added to the both contact selection option and any partial view lookups as well. So when I say that, what I mean is just as within the search you have an option to include or exclude levers, within the contact selection search now you also have this same option included. Also, if you were searching for a contact via a partial view, this is referred to as partial. Whenever you click on a magnifying glass and it brings down these views, you'll see that an include levers option has been added to all of those partial views throughout the entire system. So there'll always be a way in which you can ensure that a lever or a contact lever has essentially been filtered out of a contact list that you've searched on. So that's the update we've made relating to contact searching in the system. The final point to cover relates to the inclusion of a user filter that's been added to the overview page, which is essentially the home page to Colleague 7 when you first log in. So what there now is a user permission, which, if it gives you the authority to do so, will give you a user option so that you can drop down and view other people's statistics from a user's perspective. So if I go to admin and user permissions, I'll go to this user group. And if we scroll down, it's here. So overview, change user setting. So that's currently set to no access, and as you can see on here, we don't have that user option there. If I was to set this to full access, and then I refresh this page, you can see now that a user option has been added. And what that obviously allows you to do is, obviously you can see your own stats on first login. But if you also want to have the option of being able to view other active users on the system, then you can do so. So you can select a user record and it will bring up obviously their statistics there as well. On refresh, it will always go back to your stats as the default on a refresh, but obviously that user option has now been included based on that permission setting. We do have some further work in line for it to build in the report team structure, obviously for scenarios where team leaders would have access to this setting but only be able to see users for specific people in their teams. So that's an extra update element to this functionality that we'll be including. But for the time being, at the moment, it's doing a search on basically all active users against the system itself. So that option is there again against user permission settings called Overview Change User Setting, and you set it to full access so you can have that option. And that's the update we've made there. As always, if you have any queries or feedback, please do get in touch. I'd be keen to hear from you. Also, for those using Colleague 7, feel free to submit your enhancement requests via the support team or directly to me using the above email address. The next video will be the sprint plan for 18.03.02, and as part of that I'll include a quick overview on the points we intend to work on during that sprint. Thanks for watching.